Welcome to our Power Up demonstration. We've had a lot of people ask, what makes Power Up so special, and how does it compare to other oil additives? Well, today we're going to show you. We've got here a Timken load tester, and what we're going to do first is we're going to drag a bearing across this race, and we're going to see how many weights it takes before it fails, or meaning seize up. At that point, the engine would stop. Each one of these weights weighs 1 pound. But if you put it on the end of the arm like this, it actually puts about 35 pounds of pressure per square inch on the end of that bearing. That's the wear scar that you'll see there. This bearing is less than an inch. And so when you calculate it, it actually comes out to about 7,500 pounds of pressure on the point of that bearing where it meets the race. Here we're going to add some regular 10W30 Valvoline synthetic blend, a good high quality oil, and we're going to test it out. Now lubricating this should be able to withstand more weight. So here you go with 1, 2, 3, 4 weights before our motor seizes right there and it fails. I'll show you the wear scar. You can see here there's not a huge difference between without oil and with oil. The biggest difference is you get one additional weight. The first additive we're going to test on this machine is FR3, very popular oil additive. It's a friction reducer. And so we're just going to put a little bit in there. Like all oil additives, you add it to the current oil that you're using. You don't use it straight as oil. So we're just going to put a little bit in here and see we've got a clean bearing there. Clean surface. We're going to add 1 weight, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And right there, it fails. I'm going to show you the wear scar here. Very similar to that with just oil. Now the interesting thing here is that we were able to get 1 additional weight than we had with just oil, and 1 additional weight that we had with no oil. So we're seeing an improvement, which I think is really important. Obviously, the more friction we can reduce in our motors, the better. Helps the equipment run better. This product we're testing out now is Lucas. It's a very thick, almost like a consistency of honey. You'll see it actually flips out some of the product out of the cup there. Very, very thick. We had to put quite a bit in there to actually get it to stay in so we could actually test it. But the purpose of reducing friction in a motor helps us with performance, helps us with gas mileage, more horsepower, and less heat. Heat is obviously what breaks down the components inside the motor, so we can reduce heat. That is obviously the best possible scenario. We've got a clean bearing we're starting with here. I've got 5 weights sitting on the table. Let's test this out with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's when it locks up right there. I'll show you the wear scar. We can compare it to the FR3 and also just the regular Valvoline oil itself. Looks to be about the same. Very, very similar wear scar. So after each test, we clean the cup or the reservoir, and we start with fresh oil as we try each new additive. Here we're going to try out a product called Z-Max. It's engine formula. A lot thinner than the Lucas that we tried before. It's almost like got a consistency of like alcohol. Very, very thin, like almost like water. We've got a clean bearing we're trying out here. Clean surface to start with. And here we go with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's where it locks up. Let's look at the wear scar that we have. very similar to the other products with which we've used. All of which you can see take about 5 weights, which is 1 additional than we were able to get with regular oil and 2 additional than we had with just the bearing with no oil in it. So this last test we're going to run is with NNL 690, a product by PowerUp. And it's an oil additive. We're only going to use about 1 to 2 ounces per quart of oil. So we're just going to put a drop in here. So if your motor takes 3 quarts of oil, you would put 3 to 6 ounces of PowerUp or NNL 690 inside your machine. Some vehicles or some pieces of machinery take 1 quart of oil, and so you'd only need to use about 1 to 2 ounces of PowerUp product in that machine. A new clean bearing here on the surface so we can compare it. And here we go with the test with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to pause here just a moment just so we can show you the wear scar. We've got twice the weight we're able to get with any other oil additive, and it's still running. The wear scar you can see there is pretty small. It's about the quarter of a size of the other wear scars with twice the weight. But we're going to put it on here and see how far we can push this. See how many weights we can get on there before it seizes up. So we've got here 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Every single weight that we have is on that. And you see it's still running. Reduces all that friction. Let's take a look at the wear scar. You can see there it's about half the size as when our other oil additive seized up. Still running with 20 weights and only has about half the wear scar. So the proof is in the pudding. You can see here, compared to the other oil additives, PowerUp is a superior product. And I can guarantee you that's all I use in my cars. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.